Matchday 4 in the Asian Champions League 2025-26, and the wait goes on for Al Sadd. Welcome everybody. The Jassim bin Hamad Stadium in Doha is the setting for the visit of the 2025 Asian Champions League winners. And in contention again early season, Ahli of Saudi Arabia. A different story, as you can see, for Al Sadd. They have a lot of work to do, but in fairness, still the time to do it. Counting down to kick-off here. The home fans clearly have had an eye on this fixture since the draw was made, and a chance now to show to the watching world that they are not has-beens or yesterday's footballers. It's been a very strong start on the other side from the Saudi Arabian giants in the Asian Champions League. And in contrast to that, the focus perhaps on Al Sadd like seldom before. 18 times champions here in Qatar, two-time defending league champions, a hat-trick on the home front, looks a tall order just at the moment. And of course, bigger picture, the club which made a breakthrough at this level for all Arab football clubs, helping to reset their ambition level by becoming Asian club champions. Now two-time winners, but it all seems to count for very little in the here and now. It has been a season of struggle, and they're simply not used to that here. In their own league, the Stars League, just 3 wins in the first 8. In the Asian Champions League, 2 points as we start tonight from the first 3 games, and they came against Al Shorta and Sharjah. So backbone is required as a bare minimum against an opposition coming from Saudi Arabia with big reputations and big levels of achievement right through their squad. But it was a similar story for Al Sadd on match day 3 away to Al Hilal, and certainly a sense that things went a little bit better in the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh. Al Hilal were tested in spells before they went down to a 3-1 defeat. That was right at the start of the reign of Sergio Allegri. We don't know how long that reign is going to be, incidentally. He took over officially on the 15th of October after the departure of Felix Sanchez. And he's the first to acknowledge that the club have backed him, and he's had the time at least to prepare game to game. There's been a few little breaks in their schedule, which he says have been much to the benefit of the Al Sadd players, but we shall see tonight how effective all that has been. Al Ahli keen to get on with it quite clearly. And equally clearly, the Al Sadd supporters are very much up for this one. And they're going to be needed. Looks pensive, and understandably so. A lot resting on it, perhaps on a personal level tonight for Sergio Allegri, but a big performance against the defending champions. And again, potential contenders this time round, could do so much for the man entrusted with turning Al Sadd's season around. Special occasion for that top footballer, Roberto Firmino, against his former club. His old teammates Al Ahli with 2 wins and a draw in the Asian Champions League so far, comfortably in that top 8, but no doubt eyeing top spot after Al Hilal won to make it 4 out of 4 on match day 4. A win here for Ahli does again leave them in touching distance of the top. Ahli on the home front in the Saudi Pro League, unbeaten after the first 7 games, but a little bit off the pace, a hot pace being set by Al Nassr. So, as per this time last season, we would say of Matthias Jesler's side, room for improvement, but nobody can argue that last time round they showed they do know how to finish very strongly indeed. So Al Sadd seeking to show a big change in mentality after a torrid few months here. But there were signs of improvement against Al Hilal. And there's no faulting the atmosphere from their supporters as we prepare to get going here. 9 of that starting 11 from the Al Hilal game are named again. Roman Saiz returns and Rafa Mujica starts up front in the Asian Champions League for the first time since match day 1, rewarded for his goal against Al Rayyan in the Stars League last time out. That was a morale-boosting performance. Roberto Firmino, an Ahli star last season, fondly remembered, scored against their Saudi Arabian rivals Al Hilal on match day 3. So another reason for them to give him a little hug after the game. A bit like that one. Unfortunately, of course, it did end in defeat. Sean Evans leads an all-Australian team of match officials tonight. Edwin Mendy, the visiting captain. For Al-Ahli, Mohamed Suleiman is in for Mary Demirel and Firas Al-Buraikan for Ivan Toney. The 2 changes by Matthias Jesler from the side which disposed with Al-Gharafa in a comprehensive 4-0 win on match day 3. Frank Kessié, the man who got the clincher in last season's final, got 2 in that game. Al-Buraikan, a noted big game player, starting match day 4 this season, still looking for his first goal in this competition this time round. I think it's fair comment to say overall Al-Ahli not quite consistent enough so far in their domestic league. For example, they had to rely on a 91st minute penalty from Ivan Toney to take a point against Al Riyadh. Toney this evening starting on the bench, but they do choose between 2 good strikers. So Firmino, a player who's been able to outfox defenders and opponents all over the football world for more than a decade. And Sergio Alegre relying on his wily, streetwise approach, his quality. and all the experience he's gained in winning to win this fixture. They need it badly. So underway here in the Jassim bin Hamad Stadium. Rolled all the way back to Basham, the home goalkeeper. And that looked a fairly well-practiced routine by Sergio Allegri, which went a bit horribly wrong, I'm sorry to say that, right from the kickoff. So easy possession immediately for Ahli. Mahrez. Yesla saving the best till last season, the very best it could have been, winning the Asian Champions League. I won't say when he absolutely had his future depending upon it, but it had been a disappointing season in other ways. All's well that ended very well indeed for him, and of course the level of talent at his disposal very apparent. Al-Baraiken, who's forceful, showing that immediately. The question really from an Al-Sadd perspective tonight is how Sergio Allegri will want to play. Will they try to be expansive at home, show their fans that they can go forward? They do risk, of course, against this powerful and talented side. Emphasis on the powerful as Atangana goes forward. That taking risks against them can be very unrewarding indeed, and lots of teams will testify to that playing against Ahli. Milo, this season's number 10, and a really talented player that is very, very close to being perfect, and they're looking a bit vulnerable here with Al-Baraiken very keen to make a mark starting tonight ahead of Tony. It's just a shade too strong, but there wasn't much in it from Milo. Mendy kept on coming, and Suleiman at some point thought, well, he's not going to get there, I better deal with it. That's a very confident touch indeed from Marashi. Tidied up ultimately by Kessie, who gets the free kick. Yes, they're very respectful of the talent facing Ahli this evening. And almost indicating that the message to his players had been that Al-Sadd are better than their overall profile of their results this season, and that's fair enough. And there's still plenty of time in the campaign to prove the naysayers wrong. But confidence is built with results, and that's why this is such an important game tonight, if they could get a result. Giovanni. Firmino might have done with getting that slightly quicker. Mahrez, lots of Brazilians in action for and against in this fixture here tonight. And here's Milo, who's moving really well early on. He's an elegant looking footballer, certainly an eye-catching signing. Another statement of the scale of the intent at Ahli. Just 23 years of age. Mateus Gonçalves. Setting a fairly hot tempo here, Ahli. And I say again, they're not looking particularly secure. That Al-Sadd backline confidence is low, of course. Clean sheets are hard to find, looking through their results this season. Riyad Mahrez, outswinger. That's gone back roughly to where it started. Mahrez again. Matheus Gonçalves. They've certainly faced off a few times in big games over the last decade. Firmino and Mahrez, here they are tonight in Doha doing the same. And here's Tarek Salman with the throw for Al Sadd. Turns that into a free kick. Stopped by Milo. Reported fee of 28 million euro to bring this young player from Stuttgart, where he was really starting to flower and flourish. Stuttgart, a club like some of the other clubs just outside of the true elite in their native league, the Bundesliga in Germany in that case, but they've got a tremendous habit of turning small transfer fees into big ones. And here come Al Sadd. Superbly timed challenge by Ibanez. Mujica running onto it. I just wonder whether the better pass might have been for Afif, who was arriving at pace and does, of course, have that little bit of power. He was outpowered here, Mujica, but no question, brilliant piece of work by Ibanez. Afif was at full throttle and was blocked off the ball. That's the point he's making. I won't say fouled off the ball, but there was a block on him. And here he is, the captain. A goal maker and a goal scorer, and they need a bit of both tonight from him, I think. He forces another corner at least against Damps. Home fans happier to see the ball down this end of the field for obvious reasons. Looking a bit vulnerable at the other end themselves. Mujica had made a run toward the near post and the ball goes right over the top of everybody. So no pressure there. But a whole mountain of pressure on Sergio Alegre, surely, at this point. Tarek Salman. Giovanni down. Card is out. Damps didn't even bother to look toward the referee. Still less protest. Late, Damps, well late. Does shape to be an area tonight for Al Sadd that they might be able to profit from, and now there's a lot of this game to go for a fullback on a yellow card. Afif's come over to the other side to take this. One or two shrill blasts on the whistle from Sean Evans, the referee. That's Roman Saïs trying to impose himself on the opposition. So Afif resets. Little variety on it, and it wasn't a bad idea either. Mujica, again, not quite able to get it under control, but he's looking lively. That drifts just beyond Saïs, who'd stayed up there. So good intent from Al Sadd, but I think we're seeing early on what was indicated by the form book, that they are not really clicking. Lots of good intent. Afif, outswinger. And again, the physical power of this Al Ahli side much to the fore there, and that's going to be Mashika's problem tonight. How can he get the other side of these defenders? That's what they've come to see. That's what he needs to see. Ibanez swiftly to the halfway line. Overran that, but he got away with it. Milo, who's already shown good imagination tonight, looking sharp, crossing. Tarek Salman did well. Kept by Atangana. Certainly brought the age profile down with their big summer transfers, European summer that is. Al Ahli bringing in the likes of Milo. Valentin Atangana, even younger of course at 20. There's Firmino on the run. Claudinho perhaps owes his coach a big performance after what happened on match day 3. They didn't really offer enough in midfield in terms of physical strength. Afif and Firmino did their best to take it to the opposition, as they do here now. Out to Milo. Albaraikan left on the deck, free kick. Reinforced his popularity at home, of course, with his goals for his country. Albaraikan, the World Cup qualifier against Indonesia, which Saudi Arabia won at 3-2. 2 from him. And on their way to the FIFA World Cup finals again, as indeed are Qatar and Julian Lopetegui, their coach. The coach who masterminded their all-important victory over the UAE. He is in the crowd here tonight. Mahrez. Atangana supremely confident with the ball at his feet, even though he was surrounded. Kept it simple at that time. Suleiman. Mazraoui given away. Mashika. Those are the moments that have got to go his way and Al Saad's way. The ball was played into him. He had a little bit of room, but the moment came and went, and again it was Afif on his shoulder, making a great supporting run, but unused. Big call tonight to start him. Statement of faith in his capabilities from his coach. Ahmed Sohail is down. Looking a shade rusty, it must be said. Not had a lot of club action this season so far. He is a Qatar international, very well established one, actually, in terms of getting in the squad, but he's not been playing in the games very often. Here's Damps. Mahrez took it down as only he seems capable of doing. Brilliant from him. Paulo Otavio knows he's in for a busy night against him. Goalkeeper might keep that in play and does. Well played, Basham. Good reaction after Salman maybe was caught in two minds. Better delivery to this side. In open play to Salman, and he's got a free kick for Al Sadd. The home side standing only 7th in the Qatar Stars League. Two-time defending champions, of course. A hat-trick this time round looks a long way off at the moment. There's quite a gap to Al Kharafa, who are on top on 19 points. On by Saiss to Afif. They're actually tracking him all the way up there. Al Suhail, another touch which didn't look entirely assured. Might need that little bit of time to get his eye in, if you like. Oh, and that was pretty fortunate that didn't go wrong from Kamara. Anyway, it's reached Paulo Otavio, and Otavio gives it to Afif. The combination play between those two is going to be really important tonight for Al Sadd if they can get it going. But Marashi on patrol again for Al Ahli. Damps. Extravagant little show and go by Matias Gonçalves. Alboracan back to him. Sergio Allegri is paying plenty of attention to what's happening in his right back position as the ball goes to the other side. Paulo Otavio's full attention focused on Riyad Mahrez. I guess Al Sadd supporters want to win their little duel tonight with the Al Ahli followers who've made the trip. Afif tackling with Ibanez. Referee Evans unmoved by that. His powerful running from midfield could make all the difference tonight. Ibanez knows that. Yesler knows it. Al Ahli know that. Cursory check upstairs, on we go. Hervé Renard, incidentally, emphasising the importance of this game and its profile. Hervé Renard, the Saudi Arabia coach, is also here. Firmino. That gets the home crowd going. It's Giovanni, but they need something special from him tonight. A lot of show at the moment, but not a lot of go, if I could put it like that. And he's stayed down. He's not going at all at the moment. Afif is still going, working back hard, and he did brilliantly there to win a free kick. And he looks the main hope at the moment, the captain for the home side. But I can. Happy to lay it off. Happy to be involved. Happy to be starting quite clearly, given the vote of confidence tonight. Giovanni. Just got it out there to Paolo Ottavio. Tarek Salman. Roman Saiz. So they've got position here, they've got possession, but the question really is, how do Al Sadd propose to break down Al Ahli? Damps, almost as though they'd set a trap there. Look at Yesli, he's quite happy with that. Afif appears to be the one who can give them a real problem, running from his wide left midfield position. But what else have they got, Al Sadd? The wily Firmino, I guess. One will point to him, but not really the link-up play. And Rafa Mojica has given a free kick away as he tried to get the other side of Atangana. They clung on well for a long time on match day 3 against Al Hilal, but that will not be enough tonight here. Not enough to appease this hungry home crowd who have, well, generations of Al Sadd supporters grown up expecting to see their team winning most times they play. 18 times national champions. Mahrez did well. Don't get a free kick at the end of that, Al Ahli. Seen off by Paolo Ottavio. Reverse back by Claudinho, but again they're struggling really to work out the best way. And one or two gifts of possession from his goalkeeper, Michel Bacham, would have perplexed Sergio Alegre a little bit and no doubt disappointed him. He's deep in thought, the home coach. Ibanez. Gonçalves. Damps crossing well. Bacham elected to punch it. Kamara. Mojica. Afif. Surrounded by a posse. They know about his ability. If they can stop him on the halfway line, that's job done, and he's getting a big engine for keeping the ball there. Now they've given it away elsewhere. They're being rushed and hustled a little bit, Al Sadd, by Al Ahli. Mahrez. Quite telling the way Al Ahli have started this game tonight, I think, under Yesler. Full focus, full intent. Not in the mood for a slip-up tonight, for all their own inconsistency. Kamara. On by Saiz. Afif. Away from Mahrez. Had a little look. Oh, the deflection nearly beat the goalkeeper. Mendy reacted brilliantly. He's twice over. Must go in. Yes! Al Sadd have scored. Mendy finally beaten. And the only question is whether it's going to count or not. And I'm afraid to say for the home fans, it is not going to count. Mendy might have earned some luck here. Keep an eye on this shot when it does come from Afif. Big deflection on it. He has to adjust. Does that superbly well. Mojica is clearly offside. So a good call. Mendy wasn't to know, and again did his very best to deny Al Sadd, even prostrate. A near thing, most certainly, and no question at all that Afif is the one player that Al Sadd hope can make something big happen tonight for Sergio Alegre. By and large untroubled, yesless Al Ahli. Of course, had the first one gone in, it would be a different story. That first shot deflected. Mendy did brilliantly to adjust to that. I'll hesitate, but maybe a question might be asked about Mojica's ability to get back onside. All happened quite quickly, in fairness to him. But he's a player who is in need of a big goal on a night like this. Firmino. Atangana takes it off him. Sulaiman. Majrashi. Mahrez has the range of passing, certainly. Matheus Gonçalves, one or two good incisions down the left from him so far this evening. Worked out okay for Basham. And here's Afif. Paulo Otavio was like a sprinter out of the blocks there, running ahead of his captain, but the ball went the other way. Damps, the opposing left back, does the job. Maybe not such a high profile signing. Matteo Damps is one or two of the other younger European-based players they've brought in to play for Al Ahli. He arrived in January of 2025 from PSV. Afif trying his luck again. High quality, both the attacker and the goalkeeper here. Great work from Mendy. Afif showing all his ability. That was a glorious hit. And it's certainly curling into that bottom corner. Seen off again by Mendy. Roberto Mancini's also in the stadium watching tonight. Forward by Mahrez. Gonçalves is giving chase. Basham read that very well indeed. Kamara. Damps is again equal to the task, and he's probably shading that duel at this stage of the game against Giovanni, in whom they have great hopes. Al Sadd. Mojica's doing his best, he's running hard. However, the cutting edge simply is not there, I'm afraid, at the moment for Al Sadd. So we have current and past national coaches of Saudi Arabia in the stadium here tonight in Doha. Mancini's reign as Saudi coach ended in October 2024. A couple of draws really undermined him. Bahrain and Indonesia from memory. A draw not much good tonight for Sergio Alegre and Al Sadd against yesterday's Al Ahli, the champions. Timing their run brilliantly last season in this competition, if not in the Saudi Pro League. But it doesn't really matter all that much if you do finish 5th, and if you do get knocked out in the King's Cup in the round of 32, which is what happened last season, if you win the Asian Champions League, which they did when it really counted, the historic victory over Al Hilal. Here come Al Sadd. Side netting only, and there was more in that surely for Paulo Otavio. He sees the funny side of it. Not sure anybody else does. Firmino was steaming in, Mojica was steaming in, and he decided to go for it himself. So through the half hour in this one tonight on match day 4 in the Asian Champions League West, the energy and the purpose is certainly there from Al Sadd, but not the coolness in front of goal, and not really the cutting edge, to be honest. Al Ahli are not carving out many chances, but they've set about the task in proper fashion tonight. Knew this would be a test, and very aware of the importance of this game to the home side. For tonight for Al Ahli, 2 wins and a draw in the Asian Champions League. Started their campaign in Iraq against Nasaf Kwarshi, 4-2 winners. Match day 2, 1-1 at home to Sharjah. For Al Sadd, about as good as it's got so far, really. Afif got their goal in that game. Mahrez, space of plenty, finishes the job in style. Brilliant from him. What is it they say? Form is temporary and class is permanent. He's just demonstrated that yet again. Al Sadd got themselves in a tangle. Mahrez knew there was something brewing for him, moved into the space, they set him up, and he finished it off for them. 1 chance to clear it, 2 chances to clear it, 3. Mila went inside really well. How about that from Mahrez? And picking his spot with precision to the millimetre. Twisting and turning all that back line all in one, and the goalkeeper nowhere near it. Brilliant. Riyad Mahrez strikes again. So no cutting edge from Al Sadd, but Al Ahli most certainly have one. Claudinho Doesn't look very comfortable at this moment. No hiding place, though. Milo forcing him backwards. Seemed to panic to me just a little bit. I guess the claim from Sergio Alegre is that he was fouled before that, but he did keep going. Has to show he can compete at this level, and all that's happened now is that Sergio Alegre's talked himself into trouble by protesting too close to Adam Kersey, the fourth official. One or two of the Al Sadd players looking a bit sorry for themselves at the moment. Mahrez's first goal for his club, actually, since the matchday 1 meeting with Nas of Kharshi. Ibanez. So how brave will Al Sadd now dare to be? No problems this time for Tariq Salman. Saiz. Suhail. Up to Basham. There's been too much of that in this first half for Al Sadd from Basham. Right from the kickoff, you might remember. The fear might be, to use a term, that some of these Al Sadd players are going to go into hiding a little bit. Mojica run off it again. Al-Buraikan moving forward confidently here, Al-Ahli. Milo again. Dumps on the follow-up. They've got a man down here behind the referee's back at the moment. Al Sadd. Here's Otavio. Did that well enough. Afif's now going to put it out of... Well, he thought about it and thought better of it. The hand gestures tell the full story there. Nobody needs a further explanation. On we go. Giovanni. Mown down there. That's a certain free kick against Milo. Looks like at the moment the visiting supporters are winning the battle of the choirs, if I could put it like that. And as you can see, far side, a lot of the optimism has gone now for Al Sadd's supporters. Really build this as the night when they could start to get their season going. Kamara. Palmed off by Mahrez, who's teasing and taunting. And shown. Well, eventually somebody cracked. That's Mahrez all over. just inviting somebody to come and have a whack at him. And Ahmed Suhail, who's had a fairly difficult night all round, fell right into the trap. That's a nasty one. But he's always been so good at riding challenges, Mahrez. Almost completely hurdled Suhail. Suhail deserved a yellow for kicking at the fresh air had that happened there. So they've quelled the threat. They've not been giving up chances, Yesla. And Al Ahli, they've scored a brilliant goal. This is the brilliant goal. Maybe the biggest question right now for Yesla and Ibanez in conversation on the touchline is how we're going to make sure we put this job to bed. How are we going to strike while we are on top? And the question from an Al Sadd perspective at half-time is whether there has to be a change among the forward line, particularly, I think. With Mojica in the team, we have not seen a lot tonight so far from Roberto Firmino up and around where it really counts. A player that we know Sergio Allegri counts upon. It looks like there might need to be a change for Al Ahli here. Or maybe I spoke slightly too soon. It does look as though Gonçalves is okay to go again. And he goes again. Guilherme is the perhaps most likely replacement up front. Oh, Mendy ultimately not tested from distance, but compared to the tame efforts we've seen earlier tonight, Claudinho at last showing that he's got an understanding of the seriousness of this position that Al Sadd are in, taking it on and not missing by much. Hit it well enough. Goalkeeper wasn't getting there. From an Al Sadd point of view, incidentally, perhaps one of the problems with Guilherme is another player who has not been playing enough this season. Afif. He has carried the fight to Al Ahli. Claudinho. Now, will that moment light the fire for Claudinho? Firmino. That, I'm afraid, is Mojica's evening summed up. He's been lively, but Al Ahli have got him at the moment where they want him. Hasham certainly came off worst, as Mojica has now done. Anytime it's really counted, he's been outpowered tonight. Miller's all apologies. I don't think for a moment he really meant that. But Michel Bacham felt it. Minimum of 5 additional minutes. Started very brightly indeed here, Milo. Getting that consistency into his performance might be the key to a lot of things for Al Ahly as the season goes along. Might be the key to getting a more consistent run of results together. Season which started with them edging out Al Nassr on penalties in the Super Cup. The 3-3 draw in the Saudi Pro League against Al Hilal was perhaps the most exciting game of the season at club level so far in Saudi Arabia, but it was all about getting the 3 points, not the 3-3 draw on a single point. They couldn't do it. Held recently in the Saudi Pro League by 1 or 2 teams they'd be looking to take all the points from. I guess Al Tifaq might question that. They drew 0-0 with Al Tifaq. Al Shabab at home was a 1-1 draw. Just a few too many of those kind of results in the first third of this season. 1-1 against Al Riyadh most recently. And it was a very late penalty indeed. Stoppage time penalty from Ivan Toney. But that tackle sums up Ghana and the rest in their approach to this game tonight. They're making Al Sadd work for whatever they can create. Saiss down the side. Paulo Otavio seemed to me to be running out of road there and deciding to try to persuade the referee that it was a free kick. And the referee was left unconvinced. Makes a decision here, however. Accepted in good part by Kessier. Claudinho. Afif up against Mazraoui. Played for a corner, smart bit of work by him. So corner number 5, not too many of them have given much problem to Mendy and Al Ahly. Out to the edge of the box, Claudinho. 6-1 on corners, but what about the scoreline where it really counts? Claudinho again. Smashed clear by Kessier. Damps slid. I think he was looking to get that ball under control and launch a counter-attack. Instead it's Afif, who by a mile has been their best player in this first half. Al Sadd, and his luck is out when it really counted there for Mujica. That was a sharp bit of work by him. On we go, Kamara now, and he sees it and grabs it gratefully. Well struck by Kamara, but right in the middle of the goal mouth. Mujica a bit unlucky. And what a mood changer this would have been. Afif, of course, helping create the problem. Instinctive turn by Mujica, a little bit unlucky. Straight up Mendy. Mujica again. Firmino lays it off to Claudinho. They're looking to finish strong here, Al Sadd. Sense of purpose we've not seen enough, perhaps, through this half. Yesler's really on his toes. He knows how important these moments are. No appeal by anybody for that. Firmino lost his footing all by himself from the look of it. Eludes Alburecan. I must say it's been a fairly captivating match-up so far tonight between two clubs with a lot of history and a lot of ambition, but it's all on Al Sadd winning this game tonight, and they're losing it at half-time. Ahli with a real sense of purpose, and eventually Riyad Mahrez with some glorious individual play put them in front. Rafa Mujica, the big call up front, has had a fairly testing evening so far, but Afif kept him in the contest, and Mujica was pretty unlucky not to level pretty much in the last moments of this first half. But Al Sadd have it all to do. It's Al Sadd 0, Ahli 1 at half-time.
to the scale of the game's greats. Football teaches us how to live with integrity, discipline, and respect. Every match is a test, not just of skill, but of character. This is part of the game too, because true champions don't just play hard, they play clean, on the pitch and beyond it. It's our responsibility to protect the game. Say no to doping.
So welcome back, everybody. All set to get underway here. Ahli have a narrow but surely merited lead at the break. Match day 4 of this Asian Champions League West key game between Al Sadd, a team with status, ambition, for all its current web of problems, and Ahli, the holders of the most important trophy in Asian club football. There's been plenty of that kind of thing from Ibanez and co. Ahli very much on point. Yesler knows the significance of this game. Their coach likes it, likes the attitude, and he's right in all of that. Al Sadd tried to freshen it up tonight in terms of selection with Rafa Mojica starting up front. Hasn't really paid off, at least just yet, but they're not out of touch, and there's been some good stuff along the way during this first half from them, but they need more of it. Fabulous goal by Mahrez on the half-hour mark, just past it. The key ingredient so far tonight, but compared to one or two slightly indifferent performances, this has been a compliment, I guess, to Sergio Allegri and Al Sadd from Ahli's perspective. They know they need to be on their mettle tonight, and they have been. Mendy's been good when required in goal. Intriguing contest. One of the issues first half for Michel Barcham, his distribution. Any time he's trying to go long, he goes short there. Paulo Otavio occasionally has looked a threat, but their captain outstanding tonight again, Afif. And here goes Otavio, proving a threat, or at least he hopes so. Couldn't get the cross away, well defended. And they arrive in numbers, Ahli, led by Atangana. Tarek Salman knew what he wanted to do with it. Now he'll probably have a go himself, and comes to naught. And that's the kind of night it's been, I'm afraid, for the home team. Hopes raised and then dashed repeatedly. But it's a bit like the Al Hilal game last time out. Far from disgraced and far from outclassed against one of the Saudi super clubs. The problem is the games are going by for Allegri and the wins are not coming. Ibanez. The goal scorer Mahrez stopped in his tracks this time. Afif, who has made tracks with purpose. Brilliant. Here he goes again. What a talent. But in fairness, Suleiman did a great job against him. No foul, says Sean Evans, the referee. Afif's still down now, getting to his feet belatedly. Here comes the next cross, and Mojica sends it the wrong side of the post. On the wrong side of the decision here, Afif is claiming, but the game went on. 3 or 4 chances have come and gone. He has hit the outside of the post, in fairness to him, Mojica, but it is Afif who looks like the one player who is really a problem for Ahli. He's talked himself into a bit of trouble already tonight, Sergio Allegri, and we understand how important this game is for him personally. The interim coach after the departure of Felix Sanchez. Goes against Kamara. Mahrez moving the pieces around. Matheus Gonçalves, who started brightly. There was a little bit of this early on tonight, but ultimately too much of that. Not much end product. Outshouted at the start, but the Al Ahly fans making their presence felt. Mahrez again floats in the free kick. Oh, it's glorious and so close, and it's a let-off again for Al Sadd. The weight on that from Mahrez was teasing defenders, just dying into the middle of the box and begging to be tucked in the net. Ibanez didn't persuade the referee. Still having a go on his way back. Given away. Mahrez. Kessie this season has, of course, got a kind of insurance policy in young Atangana. Gonçalves goes on. Palmed away comfortably enough from Basham at the end. But Al Ahly showing their teeth again. Al-Sadd ready for the next one, but Claudinho not able to keep it. Second time he finds Afif. Forward by Firmino and nicely played. Now it's Mushika. Time and time again tonight, making a bit of headway and then finding the door shut very firmly in his face. Long from Mendy. Fellas Alboraican is the player who started up front tonight. The big chances have gone to the other players for Al Ahly so far. Mendy is rescued by Dams and Al Sadd get the ball back. Roman Says, he was one of the two changes by Sergio Allegri. There's Mushika coming in up front from the side, which put up a fairly gallant show away to Al Hilal in the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh. No reward then, and so far fairly gallant showing with one or two exciting moments for the home crowd. but no reward where it counts. More of the ball. Just look aside after a terrible start to the season, getting stronger little by little, and the fact that it's little by little means they're always chasing and always under pressure when they come up against sides of the quality of Ahli. Mahrez. Firmino runs away from him. Suleiman looking for a bit of movement from the front. Kessie's got a little bit further toward the front since half-time. I wonder if that's a point made by Yesla. With that insurance policy in the shape of Atangana. They're just talking to two of the midfield right now, actually, about that very point. And as you can see, they're not exactly side by side. Sense really from an Ahli perspective, second goal might kill the game off. Claudinho for Al Sadd. Giovanni, who's been way too quiet tonight. Firmino, Kamara, Paulo Otavio, crossing, Wajika backpedaling. It's the same story on repeat, I'm afraid. Climbs well, heads it okay, does not test Mendy. Claudinho, cleared by Suleiman. Mahrez was there, Atangana. Kessie did enough to keep it. Mahrez. So just before the hour, Al Sadd seemingly are set to make a change. Player to come off is Giovanni, and the player to come on is Youssef Attal. Returning to action for the first time since mid-September. Attal most certainly knows what he's up against. He's an Algeria international, like the man who scored the goal tonight. The national hero, the national institution, really, as a footballer. That is Riyad Mahrez. Kamara. Suhel was giving chase. Settles for the throw. Claudinho. Afif. That is a free kick. Mahrez not holding back. Lofted in there by Afif. Mendy sees it coming all the way, but might need to get back on his line quite sharply. He's not tested by that. They're just lacking that sure touch when the moments come in front of goal, all throughout the side from the look of it. Atel seeking to start in a blaze of glory here. They're blazing it over the top. Basham. Kamara. Patel doesn't get the free kick. Ibanez. Atangana rolled it up to Milo, who has it back. Not quite been careful enough in possession after really coming on strong early on. Afif comes on strong again here. Chance, leveller! They get it all right at last. Claudinho has got it for Al Sadd. Afif made it, of course. Al Ahli are pegged back. He wants more, the home fans want more, but they're in the hunt. Afif, a constant menace. And at last, from the edge of the box, an Al Sadd player has the accuracy to find the net. And so, intriguingly for the watching world right now, a game where Al Ahli seemed in control has got to be won or lost all over again. And what a difference it would make to the shape of Al Sadd's season if they were to be the team to win this. Afif lets it run out of play, but quickly feeds Firmino. They link up well. Afif, he's been absolutely superb tonight so far. Now Majika. Atal headed it down really well. Goalkeeper Mendy gets it under control, but he doesn't put the brakes on. Feeds Kessie immediately. Albaraikan turns and remonstrates with the ball played up in his direction. Afif again. Majika steps away from it. Paulo Otavio steps onto it and crosses, and Ibanez is there to clear it. Goals change games, as they say. And now it's Al Sadd who are full of belief. And Al Ahli, for all their class players, have got to find a way to get control of this game again. Al Sadd's coach just says, let's keep our composure. We've got them where we want them. We will get other chances. That's a bit short. Claudinho was who gave it away, and he gives chase now on Mahrez. Paulo Otavio completes the task. surely at half-time, Yesler for Al Ahly did say to his team, listen, they're going to come out strong. They really need a victory tonight. We've got to be watchful. And Milo, who started brilliantly, I must be honest, has rather faded out of this game, and now he's replaced by Galeno. Another returning to action. Right off by Alboreka. Damps. Need to get it rolling again here. Al Ahly. Mahrez harmlessly through to Basham. Saiss up to Mojica. Firmino giving chase, and they're in a tangle, and they might have paid a much heavier price for it. Al Ahly get away with it. Here's Galeno. Can he return to the picture for Al Ahly and make an impact? That's not bad. It's gone in. It went right through the keeper, Mateus Gonçalves. Allegri cannot believe it. Al Ahly go back in front. Just at a time when it was looking up for Al Sadd. It sums up their season, really. Sums up from Yesler to Galeno, perhaps. The substitute found that pass, but how has he got it in the net from there? Goes miles wide with his first touch. Admittedly, the second touch is a good hit and it's on the target, but the goalkeeper's almost sitting down and it goes right over the top of him. Al Sadd are back where they started. At the beginning of this half. Claudinho. Afif can't get the ball under control. Galeno's wrestled to the ground, but it's not given as a foul against Suleiman, and he's gone galloping forward here. The ball didn't come. Doesn't come second time either. Afif has it. Now, Suleiman, and ironically, he's the one who's got the free kick, and that's exactly the point that Kessie is making. Ibanez gets a yellow. Normally cool and in command, but he's been under pressure here, Ibanez, and he is more under pressure now. Damps and Ibanez on yellow. Some would say we see this a bit too often from Al Ahly. That mentality where, for all their quality, they are inclined to coast a little bit. Some would say it's why they're not right up there in terms of the Saudi Pro League at the very top. We know how good they can be. But at the moment, maybe Al Sadd feel a little hard done by because they put a lot of effort into this tonight. 20 minutes to go. Mendy never quite getting there. Afif. It's another teaser. Galeno. Gonçalves forced so wide. He can't believe it. In fairness, Biesla and Ahli also have another trait which will serve them well again as the season goes along, perhaps. They have that ability to raise themselves, rouse themselves when a team comes at them. However fortunate the shot getting through the goalkeeper may have been. Ghana. Mahrez. Mujika a shade late. A little bit more measured in his approach down the touchline to the fourth official, Adam Kersey, this time, and he needs to be careful. Allegri. A little bit unlucky there. Momentum broken just by the tiny little deflection off the referee. Claudinho. Kamara, back to Salman. Aborekan's layoff, not quite for Galeno, but he's come on to show everybody that he's back tonight. Galeno, he has the assist. Atangana, who's really bossed midfield for a lot of it tonight. Another one against Mujika. Long and straight down the middle from Mendy. Laid off by Gonçalves. Now Galeno goes it for it himself this time. Damps, nice and tidy. Galeno really is full of it, isn't he? Got on the end of that. He could have settled for a corner. But in fairness, he's looking like a player making a difference. That's what he was sent on to do. That's what those fans expect of him. damps. Still living off lesser possession, Ahli. Galeno again, it bounced invitingly. Albaraikan coming in. 3. Ahli seems set to... I was going to say, take a winning lead, but it's been ruled out. Kessie turned it in. And that is why. Mateus Gonçalves out on the far side, I think it was. Galeno crossed it, Albaraikan nodded it in very cleverly and turned in very cleverly by Kessie. So it's not all over. Kamara. Afif. Atal. Excellent run. Goal kick on the end of it, unfortunately. He's showing what he's all about here, though. And bearing in mind that there's still a lot of games to go in the Asian Champions League, with a player of the quality of Youssef Atal back, that is a plus, undoubtedly, for Al Sadd. Riyad Mahrez is a player that they know they have to take care of. So Mahrez coming off with what, about 15 minutes, slightly under that to go. Is now being introduced for Kamara for the home team. Galeno's path blocked for once. First touch or two quite tidy from Saleh Abu Al-Shamat. He is a forward, Saleh Al-Shamat. Yes, they're still looking for that third goal before he can relax. Tovia's been caught in possession, and he has made a lively impact so far. He's smashed to the ground here as Saleh Abu Al-Shamat. Apparently not worthy of a card, that one. He it is to take it. Oh, he delivered a good ball as well, over the top from Atangana. Although, once more, he's offside. Zeiss. Guilherme. Afif. Bit frustrated, but at least he's got the other side of the defender. And he's, more than anything, I would say this, he's still looking like he's got enough in the tank to make an even bigger impact in these closing minutes. They still have hope, Al Sadd, and they still have time. Mahrez surging forward. Now he turns to the referee and appeals. Yesler wants the relevant authorities to look this over closely. Mahrez nearer side to us. Ahmad Suhail coming across the defender. And it goes with the defending team. Here's Ibanez defending for Ahli. They've cut their way through again, Galeno. Basham makes partial amends for the goal. Anything but sitting on their lead here, Ahli, to their credit. Now, if the flag had actually gone up, and the suspicion is that it did go up, there would have been a mighty sing-song about that, because it didn't look offside really. Had they ended up scoring, that VAR would basically have then decided the match, I think. Guilherme. Al Sadd, team, players, squad, club, fans, coach, everybody craving a victory, craving a big night, craving taking the scalp of one of the Saudi super clubs, and they've had moments of opportunity to do all that in this game. Can't say they were ever on top away to Al Hilal, but rather a different picture tonight, and Ahli have had to play nearly at their very top level to be in front. But like the other disappointments this season, Al Sadd are not winning. Afif. Claudinho. Ibanez missed his kick, really. Guess he eventually has to fall to the deck. Did his level best to keep going. Guilherme and one or two of the others for Al Sadd are just suggested to Sean Evans, the referee, that he might ask Al Ahli to speed it up a bit. This is Guilherme. Natal stopped by Dance. Suhail. Saiss. Afif. Bit short, man and ball arrived at the same time there into Paulo Otavio, and that does get a card. One or two others have escaped with similar challenges. Card against Mahrez. So that's 3 of the back 4 booked tonight for Al Ahli. Afif. Preferred starting position on this left side, but he's got license to roam in this team, and rightly so. Very gifted footballer. Saiss didn't give him much chance there, as gifted as he is, quite honestly. And out of play from Roman Saiss. Afif in hot pursuit. Firmino. We're getting a little bit short of time for Bobby Firmino to come up with one of his magic moments, but we can never rule him out. And they've got a free kick, Al Sadd. Always forceful physically, Feras Albarekan. Truthfully, he's not really imposed himself up front tonight for Al Ahli, as they may have wished. And we should also perhaps salute Mendy in goal. His high quality work tonight, as usual from him. That's helping ensure this lead. Now we head to 90 minutes. And there's another 7 minimum. Claudinho takes it. Natal, player down, but Al Sadd will want to keep going. Even with one of their own stricken for the moment. The player concerned is Suhail. The arm of Dams, I think, is the problem. Just gets harder and harder after every game to try to point out the positives, of which there are many for Al Sadd tonight. more than just the individual performance of the outstanding Afif, but Sergio Allegri is looking at the moment like he's got to go into another press conference and explain why they've got nothing out of the game. Yesla will probably and rightly say that Al Ahly have had a real test tonight, but they're coming through it. He'll also say we knew it would be a test. Truth is, he did say that before the game. Saiss threads one up there to Afif. Man and ball arrived again, and Mahrez got to be careful on a yellow card. He did that really expertly. Kessie, he's taken out by Guillermo. Guillermo's getting very frustrated, but that's exactly what Al Ahly wanted at this stage. Might argue there that Guillermo might have been a lot smarter not to dive in. The trip home looks like being a happy one for Al Ahly supporters. One of the other pluses, of course, Galeno coming in and having a big impact. Very talented squad. And of course this season they've added that little bit of youthfulness. Who knows where it might take them in the long run. Atal, Guillermo, Saiss, Otavio crossing, good looking ball. Ibanez read it better than anybody. He's rather good at doing that. The Brazil shirt, which Ibanez is by no means an automatic pick for. Rahman Mohamed has come on. Claudinho, Guillermo, worked out nicely and worked out promisingly now for Al Ahly with Galeno. Made the room himself, but it was Guillermo who got back to make the block. Free kick won by Suleiman, who was only on his way back. Forgive me, Salman, I should have said. So they're going to find something else here, and quick. Al Saad. Afif shows willing. Atal has been really lively since he came on, and that's a positive going forward. Links up with Firmino. These two could make something happen. Great move. Afif. Coolly defended. The three players they'd want on the ball there got on the ball. What can Salman come up with? Trying to force a corner. I think he's done that. It's not quite all over just yet. Here it comes. Alvarez can not be much of a force in the opposition penalty box, but he made a really good job of heading that corner clear for his teammates. Excellent ball over the top. Afif, now or never, surely, for Al Sadd. What a moment it might be in their season if they could level this somehow. They're moving it well again. To the very end. The fans entitled to keep believing. Afif crosses. Ibanez is there as usual. Galeno, can he counter? Afif had to go for it, he felt. He's going to get a card for that challenge. And that might be it tonight. Once again for Al Sadd. He knows he's been in a game. But if they come through it with a victory, as they seem set to do, how precious it will be in terms of developing the belief in this squad. This modified squad after last season. The decision taken to move on some of the really big stars and try to alter the shape of the squad for the longer term. Brave bit of planning, but it seems to have paid off. Yesla and Al Ahli proved they've still got what it's taken. The Asian Champions League, they were properly tested here tonight by Al Sadd. Sergio Allegre's men never gave up. Firmino back against his former teammates. They won the trophy together last season, of course. He couldn't quite inspire Al Sadd tonight, but they made it really difficult. Al Ahli performing near their best level for most of the night, never able to relax, but they can relax now. They have got the job done in a very hard-fought and captivating contest. But I'm afraid the hard luck stories just keep on coming for Al Sadd, now through match day 4, still looking for their first victory. And indeed, it's another defeat for them tonight. Al Ahli victorious. Mahrez set it up with a glorious goal. Matheus Gonçalves got the second. Galeno made things happen off the bench. But on what we've seen tonight, Firmino and Al Sadd can still hope. There's still games for them to get where they need to be in the top group. But the wait goes on. The result here, Al Sadd 1, Al Ahli 2.